Jamb candidates, you are welcome to today's lecture continuation under biology, and we are taking heredity today. We are taking heredity today. All right. So first of all, we have to understand what heredity is. It's very simple. It's a simple word. Heredity is the transmitted characters and traits from what parents to offspring. The transmitted characters and traits from parents to offspring. That's heredity. Very easy. Inheritance. What do you inherit? That's heredity. All right. And inheritance of characters. We have to understand the types of inheritance of characters and their examples. All right. So under the types of inheritance of characters or traits, we have the inheritable characters and we have the non-inheritable characters. So the inheritance of characters are divided into inheritable characters and non-inheritable characters. All right. For inheritable characters, it means that it can be passed from parents to offsprings via gene. All right. And examples of these inheritable characters include blood group. Yes. Like your blood group, you carry. You carry another person blood group. Another one is eye color. Now your eye color and your eye color. Now you carry. You carry another person eye color. Tongue rolling. Like this. If your papa feed do it is very likely say you go feed do am. You don't go feed do am when your papa and your man on the do am. Another one is height potential. All these are inheritable characters. They can be inherited. Okay. For the non-inheritable characters, they include acquired characters during lifetime, not in DNA, not through gene. It is not genetic. It is through your life on earth that you acquire these non-inheritable characters. They include what? Scars. Maybe if you injure for inside earth here, now you acquire that one. They include tattoos. God give you tattoo. When God they create you, they give you tattoo. Maybe you go come earth here, come they put tattoo for your skin, be putting ink in your skin. Another one again, learn skill. You carry fashion designing come from up to the top. Maybe for earth here you learn them. All the skill. Okay? All the skill. Playing football, okay, playing table tennis, running, all those skills, they are all non-inheritable character. You know, if you say my papa sabi play ball, so your pikin go come sabi play ball because say your papa sabi play ball, say inheritor. No, they don't inherit all those kinds of things. I don't get mark now for here, I'll come born pikin. The pikin go come carry this car where I get. No, I don't be draw tattoo for my kidney. My pikin go come go get that same tattoo where I draw for my kidney. No, they are non-inherited characters. Body weight is non-inherited. That's why some people they will call they say, I inherited it from my parent. My father is okay, but let me explain. To some extent, body weight is inheritable, sharp. To some extent. To some extent, it has its own, some genetic influence and environmental influence too. All right. So it is not body weight is not solely a non-inheritable character though. It's not completely an inheritable character. So language is also there. Not before here you learn how to speak during your lifetime. Okay. You know if you say because this man now, some man now. You can't born pikin, the pikin go just start to speak Hausa, say you know teach him. You must teach him. Your pikin you feel be Hausa man now, you born pikin, you go train for Igbo land. Your pikin will be Hausa go speak Igbo because now waiting he acquired throughout a lifetime on earth. Now let's look at the Lamarck versus the Darwin genetic theories. Both theory. We have to understand them because Jamb says we should be accustomed to them. Alright? So for the Lamarck's theory, Lamarck proposed the inheritance of acquired characteristics, which is what use/disuse. And this theory is what unproven. What is meant by inheriting acquired characteristics means that Lamarck tried to say that he postulated that humans can acquire, you can genetically acquire all these non-inheritable characters like scars, tattoo. Man with Jim finish, he can't grab. If he born, he go grab. So that's why it was disproven. Okay, it was later disproven. So this Lamarck's theory is not, is refuting. All right, this Lamarck's theory is refuting. It's not true. He's also the one that proposed the use and disuse theory, which means that in the theory, he postulated that when you use a body part, it grows bigger. All right. So, for example, when you use muscle, this one is true. This one is true. When you use muscle, it grows bigger. Okay. Yes. But where I go for go make mistake, where I go fuck up now, when you be say you don't acquire this, this acquired characteristic or this acquired traits, finish. When you acquire this characteristic, it can't go say you feed your pikin feed inheritance. It can be transmitted through gene. Now there it fuck up. It now became what? Refuting and disapproved. So let's move over to the next, which is Darwin theory. Darwin theory states that natural selection acts on random variation. Okay, so natural selection brings about random variation. Hope you know what natural selection is. Natural selection means the fittest. Okay, the fittest, survival of the fittest. That's natural selection. Survival of the what? Fittest. For example, we have one woman here and we have different men here. We have up to like 20 men here. So that 20 men needs to fight, battle for supremacy, fight for the strongest, the fittest. It's only the fittest that is going to impregnate that woman there. Okay, that's natural selection, not through opportunistic selection because say you are the one available. No, natural selection. It leads to the production of stronger organisms and organisms that adapt better to their environment. They live longer, they live healthier. Natural selection. So Darwin proposed that natural selection brings about random variation. So you start getting random variation, different things. This one will be stronger, and this theory is accepted, okay, because it's what factual, it's true, it's proven. Now let's understand chromosomes. Chromosome is the dark stained structure in the cell nuclei. Chromosomes are the basis of heredity. They are the basis of heredity. Chromosomes. Let's understand the structure of chromosome. Chromosome has a DNA, and the DNA is like double helix structure. Double helix, meaning two leg, like this, two leg. You can't get something within the center, we attach the two leg. What is that thing called? It's called centromere. Centromere brings the two helix of the chromosome together. It joins the two helix of the chromosome. All right, chromosome the resemble hitch. That thing we cross and like this is known as centromere. All right, so it also contains deoxyribose sugar. It also contains phosphate backbone plus nitrogenous bases. The nitrogenous bases include adenine, thymine, guanine, and cytosine. So you have to note something very important here. In this nitrogenous basis of the DNA, you have adenine, and adenine binds with thymine. That's why you see the way they put them here. Adenine, thymine. It means that adenine binds with thymine, and thymine binds with adenine. Jamb, they ask this question well. They will ask you adenine bind with what nitrogenous base or nitrogenous compound. They will set these other ones. You'll be the one to pick the option. So guanine binds with cytosine. Guanine binds with cytosine, or cytosine binds with guanine. No data, no peace. All right. So chromosomes consist of DNA plus histone protein, contains sugar genes units, which are heredity. So these are the basis of heredity. You can see that chromosome contains DNA, and you can see what the DNA is made of. What the DNA is made of. All right. So that's it. So the gene, on the other hand, is a segment of the DNA coding for specific protein /traits. So the gene is part of the chromosome. The gene is part of the chromosome that contains the coding for a specific protein and traits. Specific protein and traits. Gene contains the coding for specific proteins and traits. Then the final one here is allele. What is allele? Allele is alternative form of a gene. It consists of the dominant and the recessive, the alternative form of a gene. That time when they tell you say cross this with this, how many percentage will come out? A tall flower and a short flower, that TT where you see for the TT, all those things. Now allele they be, they are called allele. So in essence, allele are alternative genes, all right, and they represent the dominant and the recessive traits. Now let's look at the process of transmission. The process of transmission of characters, all right. Characters are transmitted through meiosis. That's inherited characters are transmitted through meiosis. And what is meiosis? Gamete formation, okay. Segregation of allele, which is what the Mendel law of segregation. That's the law of segregation that states that there is a segregation of allele during meiosis. Allele what separates during meiosis. All right, this happens usually during the metaphase. Okay, it's not during metaphase, whereby the chromosomes aligns at the equator. Yes, the metaphase. That's when it usually occurs. Okay, this segregation of allele. All right. Then the second process of transmission is through fertilization. All right, random fusion of gametes. Recombination of gametes, recombination of gene. Okay, that's the random fusion of gamete. Recombination after the segregation, there's a recombination of gene. While the final is the result, where you now have the offspring that inherits 50% genetic material from each patient, 50% genetic material from the father, and 50% genetic material from the mother. As simple as that. ABCD 50-50. Then the inheritor. Make you for know that one. All right. So what is the probability in genetics and sex determination? Let's hope you know what is sex determination. Okay, what is the sex of the individual or the offspring going to be? That's sex determination. What determines sex? Male or female? What is the determinant? Now let's figure out the determinants. All right. Probability rule. The probability of sex determination. That's what we want to look at right now. All right. The product rule is the first one. So the probability of independent events to occur is equal to the product of individual probability. Independent events. Events that are not dependent on anything is equal to the product of individual probabilities. That's the first rule. Okay, then we also have the monohybrid. We also have the dihybrid cross. For the monohybrid cross, you are going to have about 4 alleles. Okay, 2 alleles for one side, then 2 alleles from the other side. Cross, okay, to form the percentage, the phenotypic ratio and the genotypic ratio. All right. For example, when a monohybrid, A small letter is for recessive allele, while capital letter is for dominant allele. Okay, the cross, when you cross it using the Punnett square, the easiest Punnett square, you get 3:1 for phenotypic ratio. Then for genotypic ratio, you get 1:2:1. 1:2:1. Okay. So this 1:2:1, how are you going to determine if it's 1 recessive, okay, or if it's 1 recessive, 2 dominant recessive, and 1 dominant? How are you going to know? How? How are you going to know? It is when you cross it using a Punnett square. So you go and use a Punnett square, take your pen and your notebook or your paper, use a Punnett square to cross these two and figure out the one that is 1 and the one that is 2 and the one that is 1. Also figure out the phenotypic ratio 3:1. All right, let's find out. Okay, let's know. And you also have the dihybrid crossing. Okay, a dihybrid crossing means that you have both a dominant and recessive allele. You have double dominant and recessive allele from one parent. All right, that's what you have here. You have AA and you have BB. All right, so the ratio 9:3:3:1 phenotypic ratio according to Mendele's law of independent assortment. What's the meaning of independent assortment? It means that allele assort independently during fertilization. That's allele assorts. They come together, they mix up independently during fertilization. So gene for different allele assort independently. That's it. I just explained this to you, and this usually occurs. I told you before that it occurs during metaphase in the stages of mitosis. All right. Now let's look at sex determination. On this column we have sex system, the system. On this column we have female. On this column we have male. On this column we have examples. So the SS and the SY. This SS stands for female, while this XY stands for male. All right. For the female chromosome, we have the XX, which is what? Homogametic. One gamete, one kind of gamete. But for the male, you have the XY, which is heterogametic, which is the what? The two types of gametes, X and Y. What are the examples? Humans and mama. That's where you find this kind of a chromosome. That's why if man sleep with dog, you know go walk, you know go fertilize. Okay, because of the numbers of chromosome. All right. So another system, we also have the ZZ and ZW. For the female, we have the ZW for what? Heterogametic. That's 2. Female now can get heterogametic for animals like bird and butterflies. You see, now make human if it impregnates other mammal, or human will impregnate bird. No, you know if it occur. So you can't get ZZ. You can't be like the thing can't be opposite for bird and butterfly. You see, you can't get ZZ homogametic for bird and butterfly. So for humans, it is the male that determines the sex of the offspring, because the male has the X and the Y chromosome, but the female has only the X chromosome. All right. But in birds and butterflies, it is the female that determines. It is the female that determines the what? The sex of the what? Of the offspring, because it's the female that have the what? The heterogametic allele. All right. That's it. So let's look at the final system: XX and XO. XX is for female, while XO is for male. Okay. No Y for me. In grasshoppers, that's where this one is found. All right. And you can see that it is the what? The male that determines the what? The sex of grasshopper, because he has, or the male has, both allele for the female and what? A male. All right. That's it. As simple as ABCD. Okay. So what is the probability of sex? 50% male when there's SY. Okay. 50% male when there's what? XY chromosome. Okay. But you now have 50% female when there's XS at each conception. So it all depends on the chromosome that is more involved. All right. The chromosome that is more involved. If it was the X chromosome of the male that binds with the S chromosome of the female, remember, this one will donate 1, this one will donate 1. Each parent donates 1 each. All right. So if it's the X chromosome of the male that comes in contact with the S chromosome of the female, you are going to get a female. Okay. But if it's the Y chromosome of the male that was donated and the S chromosome of female, now the S chromosome female gets, now they donate, what you will get? You get a male. That's it. As simple as ABCD. But just know that it's 50% male when it's SY chromosome and 50% female. It's 50-50. When a man has sex with a woman now, it is 50% possible that it's going to be a male. It is also 50% possible that it's going to be a female. It's 50-50. What determines it is depending on the chromosome, the one that is donated. If the male donates the Y chromosome, you are going to get a male. If the male donates S chromosome, you are going to get a female. So it is the male that determines if it's going to be a male or a female in humans and mammals. Now let's look at the applications of heredity. Okay, it's applied in field, and let's understand the application. In field like agriculture, it is applied in crossbreeding for disease resistance. When you crossbreed, the offsprings that develops are more adapted. Okay, they are stronger, they are more healthy, they are healthier. Okay, so but when you inbreed, okay, you do inbreeding, you are going to have a weak offspring, and offsprings that are going to find it difficult to adapt to environment. Any small thing they will be sick before you know, all of them will die. Okay, so you get quality offspring, hybrid vigor, which is what? Heterosis, hybrid. What's the meaning of hybrid? You bring this one, you bring gene from here, 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 put them together. It's just like taking listening, taking advice from different experienced people. When you bring it together, what do you get? You get bomb. You get what? Bomb, unstoppable force. It's the same thing here, hybrid. All right, other than doing inbreeding. Okay, that's why pikin know they sleep with mama, brother know they sleep with sister to start making babies, brother know they marry sister, because of this disease resistant and more adapted offspring. All right, it is also applied in the field of medicine. Okay, where genetic counseling is employed for sickle cell diseases, resource factors, genetic therapy, recombinant DNA, such as insulin, interferon, and so on and so forth. So in medicine, education and counseling in medicine, heredity also applies there. Let's understand inbreeding and outbreeding. All right, in inbreeding, just like the name implies, inbreeding, mating related individuals. So when individuals that are related, you'll be like brother and sister, mates, and it increases what? Homozygosity, the same zygosity, the same zygote, the same gene. It's not supposed to be the same gene, okay? And it exposes recessive disorder. So it's going to make the recessive to take over, the recessive to be more, the recessive to be more, the recessive to overwhelm everything. When the recessive overwhelms, it leads to a weaker organism, a weaker offsprings, a weaker yield. Okay, but let's look at outbreeding in turn. In outbreeding, you get a diverse, a diverse offspring, the one they call hybrid vigor. Okay, genetically diverse. Okay, that's the kind of offspring you are going to get, and they are usually very strong, well adapted. That's why they say if you want to marry, go far place, go marry away from your family. Don't marry from your family, go another village marry. Because of this thing, I make that they do outbreeding. You still do the same thing for animals. So if you get goats now for house, don't be say if mama born finish, pikin go come grow finish, come still knack mama go come born. No, you are killing the family of the goats. Yeah, now nonsense though, you're the born. So outbreeding is simply mating unrelated individuals. They are not related. You outbreed. You bring another mating mate from another community. Okay, they are unrelated. Let's understand the sex-linked characters or traits. The sex-linked characters or traits, or the X-linked characters or traits. Okay, in this column we have the traits, and all the traits include color blindness, hemophilia, baldness, and you have the Duchenne muscular dystrophy. All right. So here we have the inheritance pattern. How is it inherited? How is it inherited? Then here we have the features. All right. How do we know that this is color blindness traits? All right. So the first trait is color blindness. What is color blindness? You know, they feel they detect color. As this color now dey for yellow now, if you look at now, you're not going to see yellow. You're going to see another thing. All right, that's color blindness. And the inheritance pattern is through the S-linked recessive. S-linked recessive, the recessive trait. All right. So what are the features? May are affected more. Okay, you have more males living with color blindness as compared to what females. All right, females are usually carriers most of the time. Now, they affect past. The next is hemophilia. And what is hemophilia? Hemophilia is a blood clotting disorder. Okay, blood clotting disorder, and it's what? S-linked recessive. S-linked recessive. And what are the features? Defective blood clotting. Royal family disease. It's also called royal family disease. Okay. So another one again is baldness, and baldness is sex influence dominance. That is the inheritance pattern. Sex influence dominance. All right. What are the features? Expressed in male due to testosterone. When testosterone is low, it influences badness. You see, maybe for no low testosterone. Then this Duchenne muscular dystrophy is S-linked recessive. So just so that it's only badness that is sex influence dominant. The rest now S-linked recessive. All right. The feature is progressive muscle wasting. It is usually fatal by age 20. When they reach 20, most of them they die. We get this Duchenne muscular dystrophy. Okay, progressive muscle wasting. Person go they lean. Most of them they die before 20, or immediately they just complete 20 years. From 21, 22, they just die. Let's understand the mechanism of sex-linked characters. The mechanism is gene located on S chromosome. Male has the SY chromosome. Okay, only one S. Now male gets. So recessive allele always express. So recessive allele is always what? Express. That's the mechanism at which this functions. Okay, these sex-linked characters or traits. Okay, because the recessive is always expressed. If you look at all the inheritance pattern, you will see S-linked recessive, S-linked recessive, S-linked recessive. Only this badness. That's where you have the sex influence dominance. All right. Now that we have understood genetics, the Darwin and the Lamarck theory, let's now take some Jamb must repeat questions to test the knowledge we've acquired so far and measure our preparedness for Jamb UTME exam. Question 252. Which of the following is an example of a heritable character? A. Scar on the face. B. Ability to speak English. C. Blood group. D. Body weight. Was the answer. Jamb, thank you so much for setting such a cheap question. Thank you so much for repeating it. Drop that answer in the comment section. Don't disgrace me. Question 253. The theory of inheritance of acquired characteristics was proposed by who? Is it Charles Darwin? Is it Jean-Baptiste Lamarck? Is it Gregor Mendel? Is it August Weismann? What's the answer? Give me the answer in the comment section. Write the answer in full if you know it. Don't disgrace me. I thought this not up to 5 minutes ago. Please give me the answer in the comment section. Question 254. In a dihybrid cross between two heterozygous parents, capital letter R, small letter R, capital letter Y, small letter I times capital letter small letter, the same thing. The expected phenotypic ratio, in the second filial generation or the filial 2 generation is what? Is it the A? Is it B? Is it C? Is it D? What's the answer? Remember, dihybrid. Drop the answer in the comment. You know what a dihybrid should look like now? So drop the answer in the comment section. Question 255. The sex of a human child is determined by the what? A, the mother's S chromosome only. B, the father's S or Y chromosome. C, the mother's autosomes. D, the cytoplasmic inheritance. What's the answer? This is the easiest question in biology. Give me that answer in the comment section, my scholar. Question 256. A carrier female for hemophilia, see this thing here, see the allele configuration, marries a normal male, see in own configuration, everything dominant. What proportion of their male children will have hemophilia? A, 0%, B, 25%, C, 50%, D, 100%. What's the answer? This is so easy now. This is so easy. Drop the answer in the comment section. The answer they look is very easy. No need to even stress. They say you calculate anything. They do any Punnett square for you. I mentioned it in the lecture. I explained everything. So give me the answer in the comment section. Question 257. Color blindness is more common in male than females because A, males have 2 S chromosomes. B, the gene is on the Y chromosome. C, males have only 1 S chromosome. D, females cannot be carriers. What's the answer? Drop the answer in the comment section. Question 258. Which of the following is not a sex-linked trait? A, hemophilia, B, color blindness, C, badness, D, sickle cell anemia. What's the answer? This is one of the easiest questions in genetics. Please, no lose guard me up. No fuck me up. Give me the answer in the comment section, my good scholar. I taught you now. Question 259. The process by which homologous chromosomes separate during gamete formation is called what? Homologous chromosomes separate is called what? A, fertilization. B, segregation. C, recombination. D, independent assortment. What's the answer? This is easy now. I taught you now. It's according to one law. Give me the answer in the comment section, my scholar. I know you are capable. Question 260. In humans, the ability to roll the tongue is dominant over non-rolling, like this. If a heterozygous tongue roller, RR, marries a non-roller, RR, what percentage of their children will be tongue rollers? Drop it in the comment section. This is so easy. See, just carry your Punnett square, do everything, okay? Do everything. It's telling you about C. See the one for the tongue roller, heterozygote. If the heterozygote tongue roller is marries a non-tongue roller, RR, see the heterozygous here. So how many of this one you will get? Tongue roller. Drop the answer in the comment section. Question 261. Which nitrogenous base pair with adenine in DNA? I don't tell you say Jamb, you repeat this thing well. See for your front now. What's the answer? Is it guanine? Is it cytosine? Is it thiamine? Is it uracil? Drop the answer in the comment section, my scholar. Please, Jamb don't near 5 days to go. 5 days to go for Jamb. If you need this lesson notes, very short, all the syllabus compressed, you can cover this lesson notes with just 2 days. All you have to do, send me a DM. Don't fail your Jamb. Everything inside the syllabus, they inside. We are experts in what we do. Remember, it contains Jamb most repeated questions, Jamb most recurring questions to test you immediately after any topic. That's what I have been reading to you. So, no lose guard, send me a DM, you get your copy sharp. I also have other file, the comprehensive file that contains all the most repeated questions by Jamb in Jamb UTME. What are you waiting for? Get your copy, no time. No excuse for failure. Let me get out of this place.